In today's topic, we're going to talk about how and when you should pick an audio, video, lighting integrator to come into your church. Now, this is a topic that I have been kind of figuring out, how do I even talk about this? Because every space is a little different. Now, I was the installation manager for an audio, video, lighting company that specialized in churches. So I know what to look for, I know what to do, but those days are behind me, and in these days I make videos for the average person to help them with their tech. So, let's talk about this. First disclaimer of probably a number of disclaimers. I am in no way getting paid any kind of money at all to talk about this kind of stuff. There is no audio video company that is sponsoring me. There is no brand. I'm not going to be pushing specific gear. None of that stuff. I'm not getting paid to do any of this stuff unless enough people subscribe and like, and I can get monetized. And there are some affiliate links like this camera that I'm using and this lens right here and stuff like that. If you click those links, there's some affiliate stuff, but I'm not getting paid to talk about any of this stuff. Disclaimer number 2, I don't own my own audio video company. I'm not going to come to your church. I'm not going to install anything. I don't want to carry that kind of insurance. I don't want to have the logistics of any of that stuff. I strictly make videos these days. I do have my own company right here. It's on my hoodie that I wear all the time, Jenner Productions, but that's live audio. Okay, let's talk about why I am making this video, and let's jump all the way to the end, because I have very specific benchmarks, specific goals that I would like to see with this YouTube channel. And one of my goals is I would love to find audio integrators of any size. It could be a one-man show, it could be a large company, it doesn't really matter, all over the United States and beyond, sure, but I'm mostly specifically talking about the United States right now. I would love to find companies all over the region that I could trust, and then eventually I'll have a website, and I could make a page of recommendations. So when you're in, I don't know, New Mexico, and you're like, hey, can you come to my church? I can be like, no, I cannot come to your church, but here's a link to a page on my website. Find the nearest AV integrator and contact them. Because these days I just make videos. But I would love, oh my gosh, it would be so cool to have a pretty good sized list of integrators from all over the nation that I could just point. Hey, go talk to that guy. Go talk to this guy. Go talk to that guy. Whatever. That is one of my benchmarks. That's one of the things that I would love to start seeing happen. So, in the comment section, this is not the end of the video, but I'm talking about the comment section right now. If you have somebody that you love and you're not in Western South Dakota, or South Dakota in general, because that's where I live, and you're like, this company would be awesome. I've worked with them many times. I love them. Put them in the comments. I want to know about these folks. This is how it starts. It starts with talking about it. And here I am talking about it. So let's get into it. I had a pastor friend of mine reach out to me last week that I've known for years. And he just took a new position at a church in Boston. And we talked on the phone for a little while. He shared some photos with me. And he needed some advice on his sound system. And that's kind of what spurred on this video. So behind me, you guys have seen my space. You know what my space looks like. Okay, now check out his space. Now, does that space remind you of something? Yeah, that's the whole reason why I like to shoot in this room, is because this room looks a lot like just a standard church. Now, another disclaimer. I don't know what disclaimer we're on. I think we're on disclaimer 3, maybe 4. I don't remember. Your space doesn't have to look like this. The stuff we're going to talk about, that you can use that in any space. But it's just so crazy when he sent me those photos of how similar his space looks to mine. Now, he sent me some photos, and as you can see in some of these photos, he's got a X32, which is fine. It's a digital console that'll work just fine. There's no need to replace it. His amps, he's got some old amps that'll, honestly, they're probably going to run for another 20 years. You might need to take some deoxit to the pots. You might have to blow out the filters, but they're gonna run for a long time. Now, the speakers in this photo As you can kind of see, this got some off in the corners, and then there looks like there might be one kind of up in the center. I think those probably need to go away. The one in the center, depending on what it is, might work. It might work just fine. So here's my point. You don't need a professional for every little tiny thing you want to do in your church. But if you're feeling like you don't know 100% of what's going on, you don't know for sure what to do, especially when it comes to hanging things above people's heads that can cause liability, get a professional on site. That is huge, and pay them. If they require some sort of fee to come out, a consultation fee, please, 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 please pay them. It is worth your time and their time to get paid. But there's a couple different types of integrators that will come into your space. So let's talk about that real quick. The first one, if you get this sense, it's all about the sense and the vibe and the feel. If you get the sense that they're a car salesman and they're trying to sell you some magical unicorn, we've got these special boxes and we've got this special amp and this special processing and all this special stuff, and it has to do this and it has to do that and it has to do these things. And if you feel at any time that you're like, hang on, this just doesn't feel right. Why are we replacing all this stuff? I have an X32 here. Why are we replacing it with a different brand that does the exact same thing? Or why are we getting rid of these amps that work perfectly fine for different amps that are almost the exact same thing? Like if you have kind of a check in your spirit and go, wait a minute, am I getting sold to? Then that's an indication that maybe this is not the integrator for you. The other side of the coin, the people I look for, would be somebody that can walk into a space and just get a feel for it, get a sense for it, can have a conversation with you and kind of meet you where you're at. And those are the ones that you want to gravitate toward. They're the ones that can go, okay, yeah, I see you got some stuff here. Let's work with what you got, and let's build a budget. You might not know what your budget is. They might have to help find that budget for you. But let's work with what you got, and let's get something up and going in your space. Those are the kind of people that you want to look for. Should I look for the guy that's a one-man show out of his garage, or should I go with some big, massive, huge AV company? The answer is talk to them both. If you got a guy in your town that is working out of his garage and he comes highly recommended, he is a ninja. He knows how to get it done and can get it done on time, on budget, go for it. That's where we started. Back in the day when I started working for the company I worked for, it was me and the boss. And man, I tell you what, I learned so much from that man. One-man show. And we killed it. We did so many things. And of course, we grew into a pretty good-sized company. But don't discredit the one-man show just because they're a one-man show. But at the same time, don't discredit the big giant company just because they're a big giant company, and you might go, well, our little tiny place is nothing to them. They might have the resources and the manpower to get it done on time, on budget. You just don't know. That's why you have to invite them all and get conversations and get educated and learn more about your space. But the biggest thing is the interaction. Pick up on that interaction. Do you feel like you're getting sold to, or do you feel like they're meeting you where you're at? So in my friend's church, my recommendation was keep your mixer, keep your amps, replace the speakers, probably do a couple passive speakers hanging, kind of similar to what I got going on here. Seems to work really well in this space, and your space looks just like mine, so that would work really well. And then run all new wire, get a system processor. None of these things are hard. If you had, say, a couple guys and say, I don't know, 3 days, you could easily get it all done, including training, all that stuff, if this company was knowledgeable and knew what they were doing. And so that was my recommendation to him. We did talk numbers a little bit just to kind of get him in the ballpark. I am not going to talk numbers on this video. You could be watching this video 10 years down the road. This came out in 2025 of January, February. We're in March. This is either going to come out in March or April of 2025 when this gets scheduled. And the numbers will be way off. Plus, every demographic is different a little bit, so there's no way I'm going to talk numbers. But that was my recommendations for his place, and I really hope that helps you to kind of get an idea of kind of where to start, what to look for. Now, your gear might be a pile of poop, and you might think it's nice. Somebody that is, in your church that is an audio guy, there's lots of those audio guys laying around. He might think that his little whatever, I'm not going to name any brands, is the greatest thing ever, but in reality it's not. It's not very good, and a professional will know the difference. And so sometimes you do have to take everything out and start over. That's definitely a thing, but it's not necessarily about the gear. It's about finding somebody that understands you and understands your church and understands your budget and kind of what your needs are, what you're trying to do. So, if you found this helpful, like and subscribe anyway. If you made it this far in the video, this is the end of the video. If you made it this far, then like, subscribe, and comment. Commenting would be awesome. There's some links down there if you want to know what gear I'm using. You can buy me a coffee. There's all the normal stuff that I always talk about. It's all down there in the description, and I will see you in the next video.